Introduction to the characters.
Hey there. Myself Frank. I'm a young man involved in teaching profession and I exercise it in the same school as Taplo do. Hey beautiful people. Myself Taplo, a teenage boy of 16 years. Mr. Frank and Mr. Crocker Harris are my teachers. Hello friends. Myself Mr. Crocker Harris, a middle-aged man. I'm involved in teaching profession. Taplos is one of my students.
Hey. I'm Millie Crocker Harris. I'm in my late 30s and married to a middle-aged man, Mr. Crocker Harris.
Let's move into the story, the Browning version. Do I know you? No sir. What's your name? Taplo. Taplo. No, I don't. You are not a scientist I gather? No, sir, I'm in lower 5th. I can't specialize until next term, that's to say, if I have got my remove all right. Don't you know if you've got your remove? No sir, Mr. Crocker Harris doesn't tell us the results like other masters. Why not? Well, you know what he is like, sir. I believe there's a rule that form results should only be announced by the headmaster on the last day of term. Yes, but who else pays attention to it except Mr. Crocker Harris? I don't, I admit, but that's no criterion. So you've got to wait until tomorrow to know your fate, have you? Yes, sir. Supposing the answer is favorable, what then? Oh, science, sir, of course. Yes. We get all the slackers. Protestingly, I'm extremely interested in science, sir. Are you? I'm not. Not, at least, in the science I have to teach. Well, anyway, sir, it's a good deal more exciting than this muck. What's this muck? Aeschylus, sir. The Agamemnon. And your considered view is that the Agamemnon is muck? Well, no sir. I don't think the play is muck exactly. I suppose, in a way, it's rather a good plot. Really, a wife murdering her husband and all that. I only meant the way it's taught to us, just a lot Greek words strung together in 50 lines if you get them wrong. You sound a little bitter, Taplo. I'm rather, sir, kept in. No sir, extra work. Extra work on the last day of school. Yes sir, and I might be playing golf. You'd think he'd have enough to do anyway himself, considering he's leaving tomorrow for good, but oh no, I missed a day last week when I was ill, so here I am, and look at the weather, sir. Bad luck. Still there's comfort. You're pretty well certain to get your remove tomorrow for being a good boy and taking extra work. Well, I'm not sure sir. That would be true of the ordinary masters, all right. They just wouldn't dare not to give a chap a remove after his taking extra work. But this effort of rules don't apply to the croc. Mr. Crocker Harris. No. What? Let me imitate a very gentle, rather in a throaty voice of Mr. Crocker Harris. My dear Taplos, I have given you what you deserve. No less, and certainly no more. Do you know, sir, I think he may have marked me down, rather than up, for taking extra work. I mean, that man's hardly human. Sorry, sir. Have I gone too far? Yes. Much too far. Sorry, sir. I got carried away. Evidently. Taplo. Yes, sir. What was that Crocker Harris said to you? Just repeat it, would you? My dear Taplo, I have given you exactly what you deserve. No less, and certainly no more. Not in the least like him. Read your 90 Aeschylus and be quiet. Aeschylus? Look, what time did Mr. Crocker Harris tell you to be here? 6:30, sir. Well, he's 10 minutes late. Why don't you cut? You should still play golf before lock-up. Oh no, I couldn't cut. Cut the croc dash Mr. Crocker Harris? I shouldn't think it's ever been done in the whole time he's been here. God knows what would happen if I did. He'd probably follow me home, or something. I must admit I envy him the effect he seems to have on you boys in the form. You all seem scared to death of him. What does he do, beat you all, or something? Good lord, no. He's not a sadist, like one or two of the others. I beg your pardon? A sadist, sir, is someone who gets pleasure out of giving pain. Indeed? But I think you went on to say that some other masters. Well, of course, they are, sir. I won't mention names, but you know them as well as I do. Of course I know some masters think we boys don't understand a thing, but sir, you are different. You are young, well, comparatively, anyway, and you are science. You must know what sadism is. Good lord. What are our schools coming to? Anyway, the croc isn't a sadist. That's what I'm saying. He wouldn't be so frightening if he were, because at least it would show he had some feelings. But he hasn't. He's all shriveled up inside like a nut, and he seems to hate people to like him. It's funny. That. I don't know any other master who doesn't like being liked. And I don't know any boy who doesn't use it for his own purposes. Well, it's natural, sir. But not with the croc. Mr. Crocker Harris. Mr. Crocker Harris. The funny thing is that in spite of everything, I do rather like him. I can't help it. And sometimes I think he sees it, and that seems to shrivel him up even more. I'm sure you're exaggerating. No, sir. I'm not. Informed the other day he made one of his classical jokes. Of course nobody laughed because nobody understood it, myself included. Still, I knew he'd meant it as funny, so I laughed. Out of ordinary common politeness, and feeling a bit sorry for him for having made a poor joke. Now I can't remember what the joke was, but suppose I make it. Now you laugh, sir. Moreover, Mr. Crocker sounded like Taplow. You laughed at my joke, I noticed. I must confess that I am pleased at the advance your Latin has made, since you already have understood what the rest of the form didn't. Perhaps, now, you would be good enough to explain it to them, so that they too can share your pleasure. Come along, Taplow, do not be so selfish as to keep a good joke to yourself. Tell the others. Oh Lord. Oh, hello.
Hello.
Do you think she heard? I think she did. She was standing there quite a time. If she didn't, she tells him, there goes my remove. Nonsense.
Waiting for my husband?
Yes.
He's at the bursars and might be there quite a time. If I were you, I'd go.
He said most particularly I was to come.
Well, why don't you run away for a quarter of an hour and come back?
Supposing if he gets here before me?
I'll take the blame. I tell you what, you can do a job for him. Take this perception to the chemist and get it made up.
All right, Mrs. Crocker Harris. Enter.